Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Night Red Cup Live. I am your host, Rob Banks, and I am here joined by my good friend, partner in crime, Baz from The Source Wall with Baz on YouTube. Go and subscribe to him. Baz, say what's up.
What's up, guys? Coming live from Miami. Oh, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And at the 12th hour, just coming in by the skin of his teeth, we got Yay Toys Plus. Brian, how's it going, buddy?
It's good. Welcome to 2019, gentlemen. Hopefully the holiday season treated you well.
Oh, the holiday season was good. We did like some crazy like confetti poppers with the kids and turned my fucking house into a New Year's Eve ball practically in the living room.
Very cool.
We're still scooping that shit up days later. Rob, just a fan. What's up, Baz and all? What's going on, Rob? How are you? All right. We got our first question from a watcher. Right. So over the last few weeks, I've been saying, hey, listen, if you guys want to see something on the show, submit some questions to us and we'll answer them on the show. And we got our first fucking question. So how awesome is that? Woo! Collector Zone. What's up? Collector Zone is in here. We'll get to him in a second. I want to do the question first. So the question comes in from Kevin Moore. I hope he's watching right now. He said he was going to tune in. So Kevin, if you're watching, what's up? Otherwise, catch this on the replay. He says, being a New Yorker, I bet it's kind of hard not to be a comic fan of Spidey, Supes, Bats, Daredevil, etc. Discuss this on the show. So I'm going to take his kind of question and transform it into, when you guys see a character in a comic or a movie that happens to be from the town you're in. Now, obviously, the three of us right now are all from New York. We're all from the boroughs. So does that play a role in whether or not you like a specific character?
I'll go first. Nope.
Like, you don't feel a kinship to a character if he's, like, say for Spider-Man, he's swinging around Midtown and it's like, oh shit, he's from my hometown.
Nah.
Well,
why? I don't know why. Why would you?
Well, okay, think of it this way. Like when you hear a song, right? Well, not you particularly, but when someone hears a song, like, okay, for girls, for instance, right? Like if you're at a bar and you hear the song "Come On, Eileen," every girl that's named Eileen is like, "Yay, it's me!" You know, like so, like they happen to just like it because their name is mentioned, right?
Right.
So for me, it doesn't play a role in whether or not I like a character any more or less, because I mean, I like character. If the character is good, the character is good. But that being said, I kind of dig it a little, and this only really happens in the Marvel universe, because the Marvel universe 616 is pretty much, for the most part, our universe, I guess, or was until they did this whole multiverse shit, or however it works.
Right.
But I feel as though that, like,
to me, it's all fantasy. One of my favorite characters of all time is from the planet Tatooine, so it doesn't matter. I mean, Batman's from Gotham. That's the closest thing to New York, I guess, in the DC universe.
Yeah,
but it doesn't factor into the actually feeling any kind of, I don't know, attachment or to a character. Okay,
what about you, B?
For me, I mean, same goes for me. I mean, Baz has it right on point. Luke is from Tatooine. Batman's from Gotham. I grew up on Star Wars. I grew up on Batman, you know, so it doesn't really matter to me whether or not they're from a fictional town to, you know, to Brooklyn or Queens, like Spider-Man or Captain America. I more so am into the character itself than where they come from.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And like, I guess how that relates to the character. I'll tell you one thing's for sure. When I'm reading a comic or watching a movie, even if the Bronx is mentioned, I do get that kind of like happy little feeling in my stomach. You know, like if you're watching let's say you're reading a Spider-Man comic, to keep it simple, and like the Kingpin's doing some shit in the Bronx, and it mentions like maybe under the Throgs Neck Bridge or some shit, or like Ferry Point Park or something like that. I'm like, oh, cool, like that's fucking like right, kind of around where we grew up, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, but it's fleeting, and it doesn't really factor into the allure of the character or the story, or I don't know.
Well, it'll help in terms of like that quick little. It's like a quick hitter, right? Like it's cool for the moment, but it doesn't really have an overall impact on whether or not you're going to like somebody just because they're from your hometown.
True.
All right, that sounds good. Let's see. Robert Just a Fan says, here's a question. What's up with the San Francisco Bridge? Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge is pretty friggin' ridiculous. Like, I was just going to say Magneto picking this shit up and slamming it in X3, and that seems to be like, I guess it's just one of those, like, crazy monuments in, like, America that's, like, you know, really big and something that they can do battles with or drop shit on or, I don't know, fuck with or whatever the hell they choose to do.
It's a beautiful, like, honestly, it's a beautiful sight to see up close. Like, you know, my wife ran the Golden Gate Marathon or half marathon in the start of November. So, like, we all flew out to the West Coast. None of us, my wife, my sister-in-law, her husband, we have never been to California before. So, like, seeing the Golden Gate Bridge in, like, from an up close view, I mean, it's a beautiful sight. But me personally, I didn't even remember X3 at that point.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing's what was kind of cool. I'm playing the Spider-Man game on the PS4, the new game.
Oh, I love that game.
Swinging around the city, right? And I work for for the city. I work for garbage removal and for sanitation. So you're able to actually like stick to the side of a sanitation truck and like ride it from stop to stop, which I thought was kind of cool. And that was, again, a fleeting moment type thing, because who the fuck wants to think about work when they're trying to enjoy a video game? Yeah. But that was kind of cool because it's pretty much exactly set up down to a T, exactly what it looks like. And it was just cool to kind of like do that. I wish I could just grab the guy out of the fucking cab though and bust his ass and be like, look, Spider-Man's cracking me in the head.
Although not gonna lie, when I played that game for the first time, I did try to find things that I'm used to. Forget about like the Ghostbuster Firehouse and like the Brooklyn Bridge and all these things that like are iconic landmarks. But I tried to find my when I did security in the city, I tried to find like the Best Buy Theater. I tried to find like the building I did security in at 44th and Lex. I did try to find my wife's building, which the Bank of America Tower, not in the game.
Okay.
You know, like for that, I did try to like see little things, and I got a little bit giddy. But as for like movies and stuff, you know, not as much, or comics, not as much.
Very cool. When it comes to like superheroes and stuff like that, like I totally want escapism. I don't want to be reminded at all of real world or my life or my surroundings. I totally want to get away. Now, if it's like a drama, like say like or like a mafia movie that takes place in New York, where I could kind of relate to because our neighborhood is kind of mobbed up, then it's a little bit different, you know.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, you know, I know what I'm getting into when I watch this movie. It reminds me a little of home. Okay, you know, then it's cool. But like if I'm, you know, a superhero, no, like, you know, like Superman's from Metropolis. You know, I want to go away to Metropolis.
I know that a lot of people have complained about that. Like, oh, I don't like the DC characters because they're from places that I don't really know or relate to. Right. Like Gotham's not a real place. Metropolis is not a real place. To me, it doesn't, like, they're so embedded in my psyche. There might as well be fucking real places.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. Like Metropolis should be a city of Chicago, you know, or like a suburb out of Chicago. You know, Gotham should be part of New York. So no, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm with you guys on that. Frankie Fearless, what's up? We got a bunch of the chat's blowing up. I believe it was Rob Just a Fan or somebody had mentioned the Slimer I have here on the desk. Not to switch gears and stuff, but we got a lot of stuff we can get to. This is actually from the special pack from the Ghostbusters Blitzway that came out last year. So you got like your little translucent looking fucking Slimer right there, and he's got a nice little Ghostbustery type base, you know, made of acrylic and stuff. And he's actually pretty heavy. It's not it's a solid piece. And what's weird about it is that when you touch him, he almost has like a I don't know how it was, like whatever they casted him out of or whatever, but it's got like a slimy type feel, but it's not it's solid. It's solid plastic, but I guess like the texture of it has like a very like, you know, like you feel like if you need to wash your hands after touching it and shit. It's not. It's just solid plastic. So
is he articulated?
Yeah, his arms move, just the arms. The mouth doesn't move. It's just the arms. And when you have, depending on how you have him in your cabinet, if you have like certain like lighting set up around him, it'll highlight like he'll look like he does in the movie, where he's very translucent. Like, I don't know if you guys could pick it up. I'm moving my finger behind him, and you can see how the light's kind of moving. Well, if there was a bright light behind him, you get that effect even more. And the face has like real dark paint embedded in the face, so the face will never have that translucent feel to it. So the face will keep its shape and detail, while the rest of the body has that that ghosty type effect, which is, you know, good thing that they did. All right, guys. Check it out. Collector Zone Cantina. Go join their Facebook page. They're just a cool bunch of fucking dudes. I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys want to get into collectibles. You guys just want another page to, you know, throw up pictures on and share your collection and share your Hot Toys, Mezco, Funko Pops. If you guys just want to go to a page where you get to look at other people's shit, it's a cool page for that. And they also deal very closely one-to-one with people. They got good deals. They got some kind of crazy sale going on right now where, like, if you spend X amount of dollars up front, you get an even bigger bonus, because they have like this rewards point system, right? Where like you spend money and you get like reward shit. It's like Sideshow does, right? You get like money back to bank and rewards. But now for the next week, I believe until Monday, if you spend like so much dollars, you actually get like an additional bonus of bankable money. And they're doing this to counteract that whole starting the 27th, I believe, of this month, all the shipping's going to go up across the board for the USPS. So they're trying to do their best to kind of counteract that. All right. So shout outs to them. Geekstronomy.com, The Lair, Lair Online, Lair.nyc. You guys go check them out. And I think that's everybody right now. Oh, yeah, and the collector's resource. If you guys got CGC comics that you want to frame and put on your walls, go there, type into when you put the shit in your cart, type in Red Cup Review, all one word, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. Red Cup Review with capitals R, capital C, capital R, and they'll give you 15% off there. Okay, all that fucking whack shit's out of the way. Let's talk about some fun stuff now. Over the Christmas break, for Christmas, I got a couple of my little Christmas gifts out here on the table. I got the new Hot Toys Kylo Ren.
Very nice.
A couple of months old now, but I just busted him out a couple of days ago.
Back work.
Oh yeah, do you think? So I got the new Kylo Ren here on the table, and I traded up my old Kylo Ren for him, and I'm really digging this. And the face sculpt is freaking awesome, and you could put the helmet on and off and all that stuff. So if you're a fan of Kylo Ren, this is the one to get. You cannot use this maskless head sculpt on the original. So if you have the original, don't go and buy this on eBay, because you're gonna find yourself shit out of luck. Okay. Also, the wife came through with some really cool little Christmas gift. This isn't the only thing I got, but I thought this was really cool to show you guys. For those of you guys that are into collecting 1/6 scale stuff, dslump.com is where she went and got this. And you can find their store, dslump.com. They have an Etsy shop, and they do like little knickknacks and little add-ons for 1/6 scale figures. So she went and got me a Batman a custom a newspaper for my Joker scene that I have for my Batman 1/6 scale Joker from the Dark Knight trilogy. And it's actually the newspaper that the Joker kind of like messed with and made and screwed with, and it's actually somewhat readable. So if you had a magnifying glass, you could probably read the goddamn paper, which is just outrageous. And it's got like it's all Jokerized and stuff. And here's the back. He's got like the mayor with like the Joker face on it and stuff. So I'm going to have like the Joker reading this on the table there. And it's like little props like this that really take your collectibles up to another level. And she also got, because I just got Marty this year in the DeLorean, she got me the Sports Almanac to go along with it, right? Now, what's really cool about the Gray Sports Almanac, right, isn't just a folded piece of paper, but inside it actually has the insert to the Ooh La La magazine that is hidden on the inside cover there. And if you open up the Ooh La La magazine, you can actually read this magazine as well. So the amount of detail on this freaking thing is outrageous. This guy D-Slump does a lot of really good props and stuff for your 1/6 scale collectibles. Not only did that come in the little package deal, but a set of I only have one of them out now, but a set of 4 of these, which is the picture that Marty McFly uses. If you guys can see that, the picture of Marty there and his brother and sister that he has in the movie, and each photo in this little baggie is the characters gradually disappearing. So however you wanted to display it, you could actually have Marty holding the picture, a full picture of him and his brother and sister, or the faded one, or the one where just the brother is gone, or the one where Marty starts to fade towards the end of the movie. So it's a great little collectible set that she got for me to enhance my my little collectibles there, and I was very happy. So thanks to the wife for that one. And last but not least for the show, and I know he's in the chat right now, that's Frankie Fearless. Everyone say what's up to Frankie Fearless. He runs his own show, Fearless with Frank Castle, that goes on right before this show does. And he got me this pen. Now, this is 2 Christmas presents, or this is last year's Christmas present. This is this year. So I'm going to show off both. This is 1 ounce of silver with the Star Wars poster from the original movie embedded on the front of it. And it comes in this nice case here. And it's just really classy, and it's something that, you know, if you guys wanted to class up your collection a little bit, you put something like this in there, and it's an ounce of silver with the poster on it. And I got this one this year. This one's actually sold out now, and this was last year's gift right here, and that's the cover to The Empire Strikes Back. And that's like my favorite Empire Strikes Back cover right there too. So I'm putting these up in my little, my little Empire setup and my little A New Hope setup. And it definitely classes it up, and it's just something a little different to add to your stuff there. So, thanks, thumbs up, Fearless Frank Castle. So yeah, we did good this year, so that was pretty cool. Hey, Higher Frequency is in the house. What do you got? What do you got?
Pez.
Oh, Justice League Pez. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Back it up. You got to back it up. I want to see the Pez because I think Grayson got that too. It's a nice little collector set. You got to talk so we can see it.
La 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 la. There you go.
Very cool, man.
Check it. So, all right. So, I went on. I was looking at Darth Castle's open mic page yesterday. As you, how long were you on there for? Because I came in towards the end.
Let everybody know what the hell Darth Castle's open mic is first.
You tell them. That's your.
All right, well, Darth Castle's open mic is pretty much like an open forum, similar show to this, except they discuss a lot more statues and collectible, like super high end stuff, like big high end statue stuff. So shout out to Thor from Dark and all the whole fam, Mac Collections, the Paradox Nerd, they're all on there. Tim, he's another. They're all YouTubers, like a collection of YouTubers that discuss like. Very little 1/6 scale stuff, but mostly high-end statues. So go ahead.
I think PJ was who's on the show sometimes was they put up a picture of the new Juggernaut statue. Did you see that?
That was from the 12 Days of Sideshow.
Okay, yeah. Who makes that? That Sideshow, right?
No, it's not a sideshow. No, that is a sideshow statue. I'm pretty sure it's a sideshow. Yeah, sideshow. Well, that's one where he's like smashing the ground, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he pre-ordered it, and he was talking about how like he's got to work all this overtime and shit because of it.
My God.
I think it costs like $1,500. I think it costs like $1,500.
Yeah, that's crazy. These guys are crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
Intense.
So yes, he's like, I got to. This is Paradox talking about this.
Yeah, Paradox is talking about it.
I know that stuff is outrageous, but when I see stuff like that, like as nice as it looks, and these statues are huge, guys. Like for those of you that are not into statues, or like, I mean, you look at them, you think they're cool, right? Like we're all collectibles here, so you can look at something and appreciate it. The statues are like twice, sometimes 3 times the height of a 1/6 scale. So the statues are like they're taller than this thing here, and like the Juggernaut thing is going to be about this wide. So it's pretty freaking massive, these things.
Some of them are like 30 inches, right? Tall.
Yeah, so they could be up to like 30 inches tall. Like they're like centerpieces. But let me tell you something.
I wonder how much that weighs.
Oh, some of them weigh up to like 70 pounds, dude. 70, 80 pounds. They're like solid polystone. When we had what's his face near Jason from Odd Couple Collectibles. Baz, you know, the guy from Australia, and he was talking about the premium format Superman, the original one, and the cape itself just being 20 pounds. Like just the add-on cape is 20 pounds. That's just crazy.
Wait, hold on. Did you see this picture? It's going around all the Facebook like the statue sites where it's called Ghost Rider versus like the Marvel Universe or something, and it's like a tall like shelves like you have in the background,
right?
And it has Ghost Rider on top.
Oh yeah, it's crashed, right? The smashed picture
crashed down. Like I guess the weight crashed the shelf down onto the other statues and just wiped them all out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That must have been thousands of dollars of loss.
Yeah, I was trying to, like, when I first saw that, I was like, yo, this is like 10 grand laying on the floor right here. You know, if each statue is anywhere from $800 to $1,500, I know that Ghost Rider statue is $1,800 by itself.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, that's crazy. So what's funny is that you hear these guys say stuff like, "Oh, I got to work all this overtime for the statue, and it's going to be great, and that's wonderful. I'm so happy that's going to fucking look great in his collection." But if I'm going to spend that kind of money on something, I'm going to put it towards a car. But regardless, we're going to keep this collectible only base.
Right. Well, I mean,
am I going to? Does it make sense, unless you're the world's biggest Juggernaut fan? Does it make sense to spend that kind of money on a goddamn Juggernaut figure or a statue rather? I don't know. Maybe because the Juggernaut is awesome to me, but
be right back.
He's not that. Like, I mean, he's not like. I don't. I guess everything is relative. Like, you'd have to really be a huge Juggernaut fan.
I'm not judging. It's just like it's a different thing. It's its own thing, you know. So I could very easily, you know, get into that stuff myself somehow and just.
Well, let's just say we had the money. Let's just say we had the fucking money to do this, right? Let's say we were like, screw it. We got jobs now that can pay this type of collecting, and we're gonna up our collection to the next level. Unless we have just money to burn, like just burnable money. If I'm gonna get like a $1,500 statue or a $1,000 statue, it's gonna have to be like Darth Vader level. You know, it's gonna have to be like I don't know, like a Christopher Reeve or something. Like, it's gonna have to be something that's like the ultimate of ultimates in my mind. You know, where like it's like the peak of my pop culture pyramid, you know, if it's going to get to that level.
I don't want to put all that money into something that I could just knock over and destroy. You know what I mean? Like, if it takes a fall, that's it.
You know? Oh no, yeah, you're gonna want to spending like $200 just on a fucking acrylic case for that shit, you know, to like lock it and bolt it to your wall or something. You know?
Yeah, that's a whole thing. And then like I live in Miami now, so you know, hurricanes come. You know?
Yeah, no, totally. So, Rob, just a fan, writes, true, but Hot Toys are $200-$400 too. Yeah, when the Hot Toys get into the $400 range, I tend to kind of like just back the hell off. But the Hot Toys being that level, see, this is how I justify the Hot Toy stuff. I used to do Marvel Legends, Black Series, which I still kind of do a little bit with my son. Like, I play with him, so we hang out and we have these giant battles with Black Series and stuff. So besides that, I justify spending the money on the Hot Toy because whereas I used to buy the new wave of Marvel Legends comes out, it's $170 now. I remember when the waves would come out, they were $100, $120. Now they're like $160, $170. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, a wave and a half, so like 8 figures of Marvel Legends is my Kylo Ren. You know, and then this was a Christmas present. This was from Mom, so shout outs to Mom. Thank you, Mother, for the Kylo Ren. But so instead of having 8 toys, I'm gonna have 1, and I'm gonna have the like in my mind, it's the I'll spend the money on the big piece that's like the museum piece. Because I'm not really messing with them anymore. When I mess with them, it's more like when I do
all those other little toys, the figures or whatever you want to call them, dolls, right? End up in plastic bins anyway.
Yeah, most of them do, right? Like when you have to, like, especially when you're like low on a room and you have to cycle them out, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm done with that.
So I like it. Yeah, but there's some statues that are actually affordable, like, you know, anywhere from like 40 to 60 to 100, you know, that are still decent. You know, Iron Studios has some stuff that looks great. That's like only 100 to 120.
I wonder what the and Iron Studios is a great fucking company too. But I wonder what the what the material is. I know that what Sideshow's doing now, and it's a smart move, that they have their like I just started getting into the Court of the Dead, and now they have like smaller ones. So they have like Court of the Dead figures the size of this pretty much, right? And they're statues. So they're made of they're not poly resin or any of that. They're what the hell is vinyl? They're vinyl figures. And for vinyl figures, I think they're a little overpriced. I mean, I got to see how big they actually are and get one in person. But I'm actually holding out for the 1/6 scale Kier figure. That should be, you know, going up for pre-order by the summer. But
you're still courting Court of the Dead.
Am I still courting the Court of the Dead? I'm reading the Court of the Dead manual now, and then I'm going to get into the trade paperback stuff and see what that's all about. I just love the freaking design of the character, man. I'm really like, what brought me into that was Kier and just her design and backstory, and I was like, all right, I got to read about the rest of this shit. Plus, we're fucking mythology lovers, man.
And guys, sorry, I got to cut it short. I know we have a lot to talk about and stuff, but you know, busy day. When it's not busy, it's always when I have something to do and things like that. But, you know, live from work, as I've been joking.
Look, man, you're always welcome to come on, man. Eventually, you'll have a week off or something, or the next day off, and we'll you know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
tell General God I said what's up.
We'll do.
Everybody, that's Yay Toys Plus. Go and sub to him. Take it easy, brother.
Later.
Yeah, man.
You too. Rob, real quick, you coming to Toy Fair?
Of course, brother.
I'll see you there.
You got it, brother.
All right.
I'm gonna talk to you before then.
Yeah, of course. Good night, guys.
Good night.
So they have these they're like 7 to like 10-inch statues, and they go between $70 and $100. I think they're 12-inch statue, which is like the death. Yeah. The death one is like $100, but for a vinyl figure, that's still really freaking expensive. So I got to kind of get it in hand and see it, because vinyl statues, in my opinion, shouldn't be any more than like $40-50, you know?
Yeah.
So, but it's still a good move where you can get a smaller statue that's kind of affordable. You don't got to break the freaking bank on a premium format that's massive. And even if you did have the money, but you didn't have the room, like let's say you had a lot of money, you were able to live in Manhattan or something, or like a big city like LA or Chicago, and you were living in like a studio in a high rise, and you got a ton of fucking money because you're in the middle of the city, but you just don't have the room for this shit. Smaller stuff.
Well, like that Superman with the with the eagle resting on his arm, that statue I have. Okay, that's about like maybe 7 inches. And that was about $100, I think, or something. It's an older statue, but it still looks great.
Yeah, but what is it made of? It's really the material that we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
if it's vinyl, it has no business being that price, especially for an older figure. But if it's like a poly resin or like made of the same stuff like the Bowen statues were made out of back in the day, because Bowens back in the day weren't that expensive. They were like $40 to like $100, and they were polystone, especially the busts, not the bigger figures, but the busts were like between 40 and 70 roughly.
Yeah, I remember I had a Giant Man bust. Okay, so I was looking at this to complement it, to put it right next to that Superman with the eagle. With this over here, can you see this?
That's nice. I love that statue.
Yeah, the Carmine Infantino, famous scene with Batman and then Robin on the rooftop. Yeah. So I figured, it's a classic look.
Yeah, you're gonna be picking that up?
Huh?
You're gonna be picking that up?
I made an offer on eBay for that.
Okay,
so
cool.
I gotta wait. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought classic Supes and classic Batman and Robin will go well together. I think they're about the same size too.
The classics always get shit on way too freaking much, guys. It's Carmine Infantino. See, me and Baz we have a very nostalgic, very old school. We like the older artwork and we appreciate that type of stuff. Remember when we walked by it wasn't Carmine Infantino. Tell the story about when we walked by Jerry Robinson, man.
Oh my God, we walked right up to him drawing. He was drawing the Joker, right?
Yeah.
And this is the man who helped create the Joker, right?
Yeah, him and Bill Finger.
So Jerry Robinson also had a hand in creating Robin. So, yeah, oh my God, what was wrong with us, man? We were watching him draw the Joker, and then we were like, oh, we'll get back to him or something.
They're just walking by like all the Jerry Robinsons there. I think we saw him at like 2 cons, and we kind of like we didn't brush him up. We just like walked past him. I think it was like one of those moments where you're at a Comic-Con and you're just like, you're in like that human cattle where you're just kind of shuffling through the fucking aisles. And then you got, you walk by someone famous and he had no one there. Like we skimmed his booth like this. And it was like, holy shit, look, it's Jerry Robinson drawing the Joker. All right, whatever. Let's just keep looking around and walking at things. And then he winded up passing away. And it was like, oh, what did we do, man?
Yeah, I think, you get bombarded with all this stuff all at once. And you kind of, it's hard to prioritize,
Yeah, exactly.
But like also Carmen, we were watching Carmen Infantino draw Adam Strange.
Yeah. Well, I actually went up and got his freaking autograph though. He thumbed through my my Flash comic, looking at the Ethan Van Sciver art, and he was looking at it like, holy shit. But it's like, look, dude, yeah, Ethan Van Sciver's a great artist, but I mean, there would be no Ethan Van Sciver without Carmine Infantino. You know what I mean?
I tell you, one guy that we definitely made friends with, and definitely when he passes, we're gonna be okay with it. We're like, oh, I had my thing with him. Neil Adams, man.
Oh yeah, Yeah, he's getting
I've
up there.
hung out with Neil Adams so many times.
We got this joke going with Neil Adams. In all due respect, I know he's not watching the show, but if anybody that's whatever happens to know him, Neil Adams has this thing where he shows up at he's like, not personality wise, but wardrobe wise, he is the
Albert Einstein.
No, Mr. What's it? Won't you be my neighbor? What's that guy?
Oh, Mr. Rogers.
He's the Mr. Rogers outfit wise of the cons in the blue shirt. It's like every time you see a picture of this guy, he's wearing a fucking blue shirt. The blue button down.
Yeah, he just has like a closet filled with blue shirts.
Yeah, that's it. He just walks in and he's like, okay, what to wear. I'll wear the blue one. Like, but yeah, so you never see him wearing anything other than the blue shirt. He's a rough cat too, though, because
he's always trying to sell his stuff. He's like unashamedly like the biggest salesman of his things, you know. Yeah,
he's there to make money. I saw a guy do an interview with him recently who was like a Red Cup review type guy. And he was at the con going, hey, like, Neil, I want to ask you a few questions. And Neil Adams was just sitting there like, okay, fine, go ahead. And just like rolling his eyes at this guy. And I was like, damn, like Neil does not fuck around, bro. But that's Neil Adams for you. Speaking of Neil Adams and DC type stuff, I'm going to bring up something for everybody to see now. And it is what is on the docket coming up this year for the DC. What the hell is it? Oh, shit. I had it. Damn it.
Oh, the animated movies, right?
Animated movies. Yeah. Hold on a second, Baz. Give me you talk for a second because I gotta pull this shit up. I have it here.
La 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 la.
Really? You're la-la-ring us?
I didn't show you though. I got this last time.
Nice.
The Linda Carter Wonder Woman with the cape.
You didn't pull her out, did you?
She is hot. Huh? No, she's still in the box. Oh, cool.
You guys are seeing that? All right, there we go. Here's the docket for this year for the DC animated movies. You have The Reign of Superman coming next week, which is the sequel to the that bloodbath that was the first Superman vs. Doomsday remake. Then you got followed by Batman Hush, Justice League The Fatal Five, and closing out the year is Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Baz, what do you think?
Hush. Wow, that looks cool. You didn't like the first Doomsday?
I thought it was all right. I have a problem with the regular Justice League being involved in that fight because I think they beat the shit out of Doomsday when all of them there, but whatever. This is a conversation that I've had 100 times. The other one
that involved Doomsday, that was totally didn't even have the best elements of the story in it.
What was that? The original one?
The original Superman versus Doomsday.
Well, that was the one that kind of kicked it off.
Evil clone of himself.
That kicked it off for the DC animated stuff. So that's like the kind of the foundation that this whole thing was built on. But that movie was like okay at the time. It was like okay, this is kind of cool. But then, they came out guns blaring after that with the New Frontier, after they did like the Wonder Woman and then they did like the New Frontier and shit. And
that's this one, at least we're getting Superboy, we're getting Cyborg Superman, we're getting the Four, we're getting Steel, we're getting the Eradicator. So,
yeah, no, you're definitely. I'm going to watch it. I remember seeing it though and having like this uneasy. I had the same uneasy feeling during that I had during the third Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane just crushes Batman in that movie. So it gave me that same like queasy, like, oh my God, this is embarrassingly how bad these heroes are getting mashed. But
Hush is going to be cool. I mean, I kind of dig Hush as a villain. Tommy, what's his name? Tommy Elliott.
I don't know. You weren't the biggest Hush fan of the comic though, right?
I love the art. I mean, it's Jim Lee art. I mean, sometimes I feel like the story was just, there to, I mean, it probably was just to, have Jim Lee draw everybody in the Batman universe.
Pretty much.
But, thinking back, the villain was kind of interesting, Bruce Wayne's childhood friend.
Yeah,
that turned on him.
Doctor and shit. Yeah, that was cool. I liked it. I think the story lends itself to a cartoon. I think like as much as I like that story in the comic, and obviously you're not going to get the entire thing, because it's so action packed with all the villains. I think it's going to work really well animated wise because when you watch a cartoon, you want a lot of biff bang pow stuff going on. So I think that's going to work.
And this is the story that brought you Jason Todd back.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I was kind of hoping that Hush was Jason Todd for a while. I like the idea of him being a villain initially before turning back to being a good guy again. But whatever, it is what it is. I thought Hush was done really well. There was a couple of cool little cool twists in there as well. Justice League: The Fatal Five. I have no idea what the hell that is. It's just to me that's just another Justice League cartoon.
Okay, hold on 1 second, dude.
All right. Baz is taking a quick break, but I'll tell you that I have no experience with the Justice League versus the Fatal Five, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Most of these cartoons are. And the Wonder Woman Bloodlines, I don't know what that is either. If I had to guess, I'm going to say that I know this was a story in the comics. If anybody in the chat room knows what the hell this is, please let me know.
Okay, wait, hold on. Fatal Five, it's really odd because that's a Legion of Superheroes villain. A Legion of villains. I'm sorry. A Legion of Superheroes are from the 31st century.
Okay.
So they're from the future.
They're from the future?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
and
sure.
They always
let's go with it.
Fight the Legion.
That's cool. They're like Legion characters. Well, that's a good way then to like kind of expand their not a lot of people know unless you're a comic fan like about Legion. So this is a good way to get like other people like interested in the expanded outside like the B and C and D listers of the DC universe. And the Wonder Woman Bloodlines, I don't know if that has to do with Cheetah, who's my favorite Wonder Woman villain, or if that's going to have to do with her ties to her new ancestry being the daughter of Zeus.
Oh, okay.
Nick Nack says, "What's up? What's up, fellas? Nick Nack, you're the fucking man. Everybody go subscribe to Nick Nack's Plastic Planet. He's great channel as well.
He's been
taking a break for the last few weeks from the Red Cup review. He's having some internet issues, but he will be coming back. I'm trying to hold off as much as I can for the big Star Wars episode for him, because anytime I discuss Star Wars, I want Nick Nack there, because if there's anybody that knows more about that shit, it's probably him than I do. So what's up, Nick Nack? Okay.
Yeah, I think Nick Nack forgot more about Star Wars than I even know.
Yeah, kind of, and that's kind of hard because we've been talking about this shit for a long fucking time, man. I wish they did a 78 Wonder Woman animated like they did Adam West. Yeah, that would be great too, to get Linda Carter to voice that over, because those animated Adam West DC cartoons are really fucking fun, man. They are really cool, and they're chock full of Easter eggs. Kingdom Come, yeah, we all want Kingdom Come. That's my wish, is that they do a Kingdom Come movie. But they're saying that they're trying to stray away from that because they can't get they don't know how to do the animation style. They can't get it to look like the Alex Ross paintings. I think that's just a crock of shit. They need to really.
Oh, that's what I want. That's what I forgot to bring up, the Hush thing. Like, if they're gonna do, because they kind of like they're kind of like using the same kind of like what you call it, models for the Justice League stuff, like Justice League War.
Right. From
there on, Throne of Atlantis. They're using the same kind of animation style, and I'm wondering if they're going to continue with that. And then,
okay,
what do you think about that?
That's me to my next thing I wanted to bring up. They're actually now, for the following year, that's this year's docket, we're going to find this out probably at San Diego Comic-Con, like an official like announcement, probably with a trailer. They're working on a two-parter for the Long Halloween. So Batman: The Long Halloween is coming in 2020. It's going to be a two-parter. Good job.
Wow, that's cool. But are they going to make them look like Tim Sale's drawings, or you know what I mean? Probably.
Well, that's just really okay. So the news so far is that there's like, DC Animation for these animated movies is working on what they're calling like DC Animation proper, which is like a shared universe of timeline having to do with like the Doomsday movie, the Justice League War, where you said the art style is kind of the same. They're working on a continuity. A continuity set of animation that has to do with like those stories where it's the same characters and same actors coming back to reprise those roles. The Long Halloween isn't going to be. The Long Halloween is going to be a separate story where it has its own animation style and its own thing that has nothing to do with this continuity that they're currently doing. Which I wish they would go back to doing more of those, because I kind of like that. I like the different arts, like each cartoon having a different art style, a different art director, and different voice actors. I kind of like that because it puts me into that world of what the comic originally was meant to be. So so that's good news. Big thumbs up for doing that for the long Halloween. So that hopefully that answers your question or anybody else that's watching.
Okay, here, check this out. This is from the Hush line from DC Direct. This is Jason Todd wearing the Hush outfit
Nice.
when he returned in that series. You see, he's got like the gray in his, kind of symbolizing, that he, took a dip in what is that pool? The Ra's al Ghul's
The Lazarus Pit.
Lazarus Pit. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's him as Hush.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like the design of him too. I like that version of I know now it's all about the Red Hood and all that shit. To me, it's like he was always an asshole, so I kind of like him more as a villain.
Yeah, me too.
So all right, so that's what's coming out for DC for the next foreseeable future. Okay, let's stay in the DC.
Wait, did you see the ending? Okay, you saw the Titans, the last episode, the finale, right?
Yes.
Did you see the teaser at the end?
For what?
For the finale of Titans.
No, I didn't. What was the teaser?
Oh my God! If you just it was short too. It was a short wait. If you watch the credits, they show you Cadmus Laboratory, and you see Superboy breaking out.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, now that you just jogged my memory, yes. So Superboy is going to be in fucking Titans. Awesome. They just Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns is like the new Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker for TV. Like they could do no wrong. It's like the power couple.
Everything. They're not holding back.
Yeah, no, fuck it. Just like, look, man, well, don't hold back. Just put all your cards on the table and let them fly because you don't know how long this golden age of comics and comic TV shows and comic movies, it's popular now. So get it the fuck out there, man. Just put your best foot forward and keep moving forward. That's what I say.
Boy, look like Arnold. You look like Arnold coming back from the future.
Who's this?
Superboy.
Oh yeah, teaser. Okay. Speaking of DC live action TV shows now, good transition there. The Batwoman TV show has been greenlit, so they'll be doing a Batwoman pilot, Batwoman TV show. She'll be joining the CW cast of characters, the Ruby Rose Batwoman, and the tagline for the show is "Armed with a passion for social justice."
Oh no.
So this show is going to be another Supergirl.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at this. I read somewhere on Twitter this week because I follow a lot of the IDW, the intellectual dark web guys, and justice is blind. Okay, there's just justice. And I think somewhere along the line, the whole idea and I'm not getting political here, but I have to for the sake of this show because I see that DC, at least in their live action shows, have been getting a little bit too much with the message, the preachiness. Justice is blind. If you have to put social before the word justice, it means your justice is no longer blind, and it's agenda based, agenda driven. And I think that the word social justice got hijacked about 10 years ago. And it's like, kind of destroying what the original connotation of what social justice originally meant. And it kind of like when I read that left a bad taste in my mouth because I'm like, when you saw her in the crossover, Batwoman's running Wayne Enterprises, and which is fine because Batman's gone or whatever the hell Elseworld story they went with. But she's got her tattooed arms out, and she's not playing the role. I like Ruby Rose. I like the fact that they got a hot lesbian to play a hot lesbian. That's good. Good fucking stick with it. Keep it frame it in the proper context, but make the actress act. Give these guys, like make them be the characters. Don't. I guess I don't know if they're changing this. The tagline just left a bad fucking taste in my mouth. That's all. I should just be like, a taste for fucking justice or something. Like it doesn't, because otherwise it gives. I looked up the term for social justice, like the actual term, what it's supposed to mean, and it's very Robin Hoody. take from the rich, give to the poor, like original, like textbook definition type stuff. So is she going to be a Robin Hoodie type character? I guess. I mean, who the fuck knows what the hell they're going to do? But you know, the Lois and Clark new Smallville would be awesome if they used the 2 new actors. That I would definitely watch because I absolutely love the Lois Lane and the Clark Kent that they're using for the CW TV shows. Do you have anything to say on this,
so much like Margot Kidder.
Yeah, she does, which is great. I love it. I love the fact that she's kind of hot without being really hot. You know, she's still kind of like, oh, like I've seen girls that look like she's not like, oh my God, it's Lois Lane. She's just a pretty woman, you know, and it works. Anything else to say on that, Baz? On that front, we can keep it moving.
With the CW?
Yeah. And anybody in the chat, obviously, questions, keep them coming in. Let us know your opinions on this shit as well.
Yeah, that first question was really good. I know I sound like an asshole sometimes, but no, it was a really good question.
Yes. Oh, and keep the questions coming in too. Also, so follow Official Red Cup Review on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Official Red Cup Review, at Official Red Cup Review community, in case you guys want to go to the community and share your collections and pictures and shit that you think is cool. That's what the community is there for. I don't really post in the community. The community is just there for the people that are following the Red Cup Review. You go to the Red Cup Review community and that's your page. Contact us. Let us know questions. Come on, we got the first question that rolled in this week, and it was a great one and had us going for a good 12 to 15 minutes. So if you guys want us to discuss anything, please, for the sake of God, write to us and let us know. And that one was pretty good as well. All right, Baz. I don't want to. We're not going to dwell on this, but we have to mention this. Rest in peace. This past week, we lost Super Dave and Mean Gene Okerlund for you WWF fans.
Yeah,
both 76 years old, both cultural icons. Let me tell you something, Gene. Come on, man. Mean Gene Okerlund was the friggin' man. Got his start actually as a wrestler in I think the AWA, and then you know, became like the most famous interviewer ever. Like pretty much, like, you know,
yeah, like he knew when to step in and to ask questions and when to step back and let the wrestlers do their thing, and you know, he's great at it. And it just, you know, hearing his Mean Gene Okerlund just sounded cool, you know.
What was funny about the whole idea behind Mean Gene, and he got that nickname when he was actually wrestling, and it just stuck with him when he came over. But I always thought when I was a kid, when I heard the name Mean Gene, I was like, what's so mean about him? He's like a mild-mannered guy, and he could stand toe-to-toe with the wrestlers. Mean Gene can stand next to the Hulk, and he could stand next to the Ultimate Warrior, and he doesn't seem out of place. He is dwarfed by these guys. He's some older dude with a bald head and the, you know, the porn mustache, but he had this air of confidence about him. And when you heard the term, it's like, wow, what's this for a little kid, 7-year-old? Mean Gene, like what makes him so mean? Like there was an air of mystery about that, and he just by default was fucking cool as well. So that was my experience.
He had a great little style, and he just totally sold it. You know, he took it all seriously, and you know, so he was great.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, man.
How old was he? 78, like everyone else who died?
Well, it was the two of them, and then it was all in one day. The two of them, and who was the guy, the singer, the piano player singer? You put it up.
Was it from Dr. Hook or something?
Who was the other guy that passed away that sang that the captain? He had like a captain's hat.
Captain and Tennille. And Tennille.
So yeah, Gene was pure clay. I'm bouncing between this, and I'm also peeking over there at the chat room real quick. After the success of Aquaman, what's the best move for DC? Continue on the path. Stay on the path, right? The Golden Child. Stay on the path. That's my fucking view for DC, is just stay on this goddamn path. The serious
for the rest of the universe, B and C and D characters.
Now, what do you, Baz, you are a fan of the darker DC stuff, right? The darker DC, more serious take on those. Aquaman wasn't very serious. Aquaman was very Marvel, dude. Marvel-esque, I should say. More fun, brighter colors. So is this something you're happy with that they're going with? I mean, I know you liked Aquaman.
Well, when it was time to take itself seriously, it did. You know, and it told us a serious mythological slash fairy tale like story, you know, like the hero's journey. So no, I liked it.
What do you think?
I like the darker DC stuff too, but I want both. I mean, you know, I don't want it where all these movies are all the same. So, you know, I do want the darker stuff here and there once in a while.
What do you think they should do going forward?
You know, give the mainstream audience what they want. You know, Shazam. That's going to be an action comedy. Yeah, they have to go in that direction if they want to keep making movies.
I like Collector Zone saying it looks so bad, though. I disagree. I like Shazam is one of my favorite characters in just comics. I've always loved Shazam. I've actually liked Shazam more than Superman for the most part. Now, we're not going to go into like the Reeve Superman or anything else like that, but I absolutely love Shazam. There's nothing cooler than a 13-year-old boy being able to turn himself into an adult superhero. I really like the look of the movie so far, pending that by the end of the movie, they show you him getting or developing the wisdom of Solomon. So, plus it's more kid-friendly. It's a movie I could take my kid to see. Grayson's excited for it. Seeing Shazam do the what is that Fortnite dance, the floss. When Grayson saw that, he lost his mind. He was like, oh my, two things in the trailer that made Grayson go absolutely, the three things. And this is where I know that DC is actually doing the right thing in this movie, hoping that it's just a good movie and a good family feel-good movie in the vein of, like, let's say an Incredibles, whereas the Incredibles is more like wider audience, family acceptable. When he walks out of the store and he's like sipping the soda and he's got like the snacks on him and he's like, hey, I'm a superhero, I'm cool, like, right? Yeah, that was, I had mentioned that, and it was that scene. Grayson was laughing. Then it was him doing the floss and him doing like the flight test where he flies up in the air and then comes back down and falls on his ass. My son was duffled over laughing when he saw those.
So kids really love when people bust their ass. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so exactly. So for that reason alone, besides the fact that I think he looks really good in the costume and he has that he's the big red cheese. I want to see him like, I'm here, Superman. Like my favorite iteration of Shazam though was in the not necessarily the Clash episode of the Justice League, which was a great episode. The Justice League cartoon, but the other episode he was in Justice League Unlimited, where he actually steps to all the members of the Justice League around the table and he's like, hey, I thought we were the Justice League. I thought we stood for, you know, because they were talking about like doing some shady shit. And Shazam was like, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm leaving if this is what the Justice League has become. And he kind of plays that like from a kid's perspective, you know, like having to check the adults and bring them back down to like what it really means to be a true hero. So that's like my favorite version of Shazam. When I saw him do that, I was like, that's why he's my man. So
look, like, just the concept is like represents like what comics is like. I mean, like comics were most magical for me when I was like Billy Batson's age, like a younger, like 8 to what, 12, you know. That's the height of my collecting. And you know, what do we do when we read a comic at that age? Like, it's a wish fulfillment thing where we're fantasizing that we're like older, strong men that could, you know, that have strength and have power, right? So that's what Billy Batson is in Shazam. He says a magic word and bang, he's a superhero with strength and everything. So
this is something,
the concept is awesome.
This is something we have to realize as adult collectors and adult followers of this type of genre stuff. Okay, we're older now. We want our stories to mature with us, right? We want the Dark Knights. I notice a lot of people are like, oh, I want it to be dark, and I want to see Deadpool shoot people in the head. I want to see Wolverine cut people and gut them. I get it. I want to see that shit too. But at the same time, we have to realize that this stuff has to also be accessible to kids, because if it isn't, there's no future in this.
I mean, not all of it.
Not all of it.
Right.
Not all of it at all. We want our Logans. We want our more mature Dark Knight type stuff. Someone in the mentioned Kev's Matrix mentions Justice League Dark. Totally down with that stuff. But the reason why I'm hitting the drum for Shazam and Aquaman and the more lighter stuff is the same argument I get into with the guys from the Lair when I go and visit my local comic shop. And I'm like, look, guys, they have to become more broadly acceptable to a general audience. We want to see our friggin' stories. There's nobody wants to see a Dave Cockrum, John Byrne X-Men movie based in the 80s than I do, with the costumes and the big flare and all that other shit. That's what I want to see. However, I wrestle with this all the time too, guys. We got to realize that they have to also bring it down to the kids level. It doesn't have to be kiddie, but it has to be accessible to the next generation and to a wider audience, you know? So when, all right, my wife is not a collector, but she's involved in this shit. She helps me do the red cup and all that other stuff. But let's just say she didn't. But she was like your regular average mom that had a husband that was into this type of stuff. And she's like, okay, the family's going to go see Shazam. So she sees the Shazam thing come up on the on the trailer. And she knows that her son plays Fortnite, and he's always running around the house doing the Fortnite dances. And here's a woman, not you, but here's your average mom that could be like, oh, look, the superhero's doing the dance that my son does. I'll take him to see this.
I'll tell you what. It's better that than being annoyed when your kid's nagging you to see a movie like Deadpool, and you know you can't take it.
Exactly. Okay, so better that, she says, than your kid. I want to see Deadpool. I want to see Deadpool. You're not going to see fucking Deadpool. It ain't happening, bro. You know, you're not there. Maybe if you were like 14 or something.
And they can't understand it. And then when you explain why, they're like, but it's a superhero.
Yeah, they get that whole, but it's a superhero thing. You know, so there is a balance. It's difficult, but we have to wrestle with it. This is a big thing I wrestle with, too, being a Star Wars guy. Not to turn this into another Star Wars episode, because I've been trying to stay away from Star Wars as much as possible tonight. But right, there's the alarm going off. Prequel-related stuff, right? Okay, George Lucas, PJ mentioned this a few weeks ago. Star Wars is supposed to be for kids. Star Wars can be for kids. The original movies were for kids. There's a difference between being for kids and having Jar Jar Binks do fart jokes for 87 minutes out of an hour and 20-minute movie.
I just passed an article, speaking of Jar Jar, saying the actor was like contemplating suicide.
Yeah, Laura just said that. Oh, we're just Laura now? Okay, she's just Laura now. Says that she just read an article with a guy that played Jar Jar was contemplating suicide. What happened?
Wow. Yeah. Well, no more Miss Bell?
Yeah, Miss Bell, Laura, whatever. I'll interchange it here and there. She seems to be.
Call me Bell.
Big Vel. We used to call Big Vel back in the day. Big Velvet.
You still have the jersey, Big Vel?
God knows. God knows. My ass broke those pants.
She says her ass broke those pants. Nick Next Plastic Planet. I don't need dark and gore, just good stories. I saw Empire Strikes Back at 5. Adults love it, and kids. Today, studios talk down to kids and don't give them enough credit. Yes, the kids are fucking smarter than we give them credit for. Totally. So this is why Nick Nack needs to get the fucking good internet so that he could say this stuff while we're talking to this, because this is sums it up absolutely perfectly. Kids are smarter than we give them credit for. I never ever talk to my kids like they're kids. I've always spoken to them like they're late teens or adults, using big words and talking to them in real life terms. That's what the original movies did. That's what I think the prequels failed to do to a certain extent. And at the same time, nowadays movies like Infinity War was a perfect example, or even Aquaman. In Aquaman, you have Black Manta's dad being pinned down and the water's rushing up around him, and he's like trying to escape, and they ask Aquaman for help, and Aquaman's like, nah, I'm not helping you. And then little man looks at me and he goes, well, why isn't Aquaman helping him? And I'm like, dude, he's a pirate. He comes from a family of pirates that have been pillaging the seas for generations. Like, you find that out right beforehand. They're from a family. So Aquaman probably this guy's been probably on his radar for a little while, but it's a moral. It gives them a chance to weigh the moral implications of stuff, which is why I thought that movie worked great. The movie's getting a lot of kickback.
So that Black Manta's father he's the reason he got that thing on top of him. He tried to murder Aquaman, right? So
yeah,
Aquaman just moved out of the way, and then that giant thing fell on top of him. So he did it to him.
Yeah,
Let's see, you have mercy on somebody who just tried to friggin' kill you twice.
No, I understand that.
I know. I was the same. Wow, he's not going to save him. I thought the same thing.
Right, but look what happens. Look what happens when Spider-Man doesn't interfere, and then Uncle Ben dies, to catch the guy because he got screwed over. Now he's going to have this guy chasing him, and we all know what happens to Aquaman because of what he did to Black Manta and starting that. Okay, so it's like, yeah, I wouldn't save him either. And then you get a guy like Black Manta to come after you. And for those of you that are familiar with your Black Manta lore in the comics, it does not turn out good for Aquaman at all. As a matter of fact, it's way worse what happens to Aquaman. So, yeah, man. The point is that it gave kids that made them think like, oh, why would the hero do that? Well, he's not the hero yet. He has to learn to be the hero, and he actually even says it in the movie, like, yo, I screwed up. Like, I should not have done that. I made a villain because I was selfish and kind of like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just do what I want.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just
he learned from it. Yeah,
he learned from it. Yeah, good character arcing and all that other stuff. So it worked out fine. Okay, I'm going to pull something else up. I want to give everybody a chance to see this as well because this is on my radar, and this is like my #1 pre-order coming soon for 1/6 scale people that are watching right now. And this is the Cossack plastic kit that is coming out soon, and this is the Conan from Cossack Plastic that will be coming out for pre-order within the next 2 weeks. I think it is absolutely dynamite, especially for a non-Hot Toys figure. This is going to come with the sword, all the outfit, everything you see. It's going to have the boots that you see in the side picture there, even though it's kind of small. The head sculpt, the necklace. The only thing it's not going to be is the body. That body is a Phicen, P-H-I-C-E-N, Phicen body. The M35. So for you Conan fans out there that are into like I'm a huge friggin' Conan fan. So I'm going to be getting this figure. And you got to get yourself a Phicen M35 scale body. And you will be able to, that is the exact thing that is going up for pre-order in the next 2 weeks. And I believe the blade, the Conan sword, will also be die cast, as will the boots and the scabbard and all that other stuff is made from real genuine leather. Cossack Plastic, you can catch them on Facebook. Cossack Plastic is an Italian company that does these type of these things here and there. They did a 1/6 scale William Wallace figure, and all of their stuff is made with real fur and real leather, and the material is like legit genuine leather, genuine fur, and the metal. All the metal is die cast metal on this. So I am freaking sold and can't wait for this to drop.
Is that Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Destroyer?
Unfortunately, it is Conan the Destroyer, I think, because unfortunately, not Conan the Librarian, says Laura. Anyways, UHF joke. That headband he's wearing is the headband he had in the Destroyer. I personally would have rather have had a Conan the Barbarian figure, but look, I am freaking happy as all hell to have this. Conan the Barbarian is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Cossack Plastic is known for having multiple head sculpts as expansion packs. So they will have this, and I'm telling you, if this sells good, mark my words, you will have a Conan the Barbarian head, you will have him with his horned helmet, and you'll probably have him with like the they might even come out with like the striped version where like you could have them like all striped up, or maybe even like a bloodied version. They did it for the William Wallace figure, the Mel Gibson William Wallace. They released 4 or 5 different heads. You got the unpainted head, regular, the painted, freedom. We will have freedom. That regular face head. You got a screaming head sculpt of both of those. You got an original William Wallace head from history. So if you bought the William Wallace head, the exclusive from Cossack Plastic, if you bought it from the company itself, was if you wanted actual William Wallace from history, not from the movies, they had a head sculpt for that as well. So they are known for their expansion packs and their add-ons and their weapon add-ons and stuff. So for people bitch that Hot Toys doesn't come out with like expansion packs for their things, this Cossack Plastic company does do the expansion packs as well based on the initial sales from whatever figure they release. So here is your Conan figure, and what is best in life? This figure right here is what's best in my life, coming in 2 weeks. So,
The Barbarian is like one of the best movies of all time. Period.
Oh yeah, no, Conan the Barbarian is just so, it's just such a, for the style of movie they went with, it is absolutely it's perfect. It really is.
It just shows you how much like the director, the tone, the music matters. The cinematographer to a movie, because in Destroyer was total garbage.
Yeah, no, that that Conan soundtrack, speaking of like how much music matters in a movie, that Conan soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks for any movie. That's like John Williams level, in my opinion. When you hear those war drums, dun 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 dun, yo, dude, you're coming out of the gates like you're a football player, or you're it's like it's got a Spartacus feel, like you're just coming out, like, you march to a ring in a boxing match and have those drums going, and it hypes you the fuck up, man. Let me tell you. Robert, just a fan, wasn't QMX going to do a Conan with James Earl Jones? Yes, they were, and they are no longer doing it, or it's been kind of like shuffled to the side, and we weren't told why. It was kind of on the hush hush. They showed them, and then they just took them down, and they haven't been heard about or spoken about since, and nobody has had the balls to go up to them and ask them, and if they have had somebody do that, they just haven't given any straight answers. I'm going to be a Toy Fair this year. I'm going to kind of do some poking and prodding to see if I can get us some answers on those things, because those figures were what piqued my interest back when we saw them last year.
Speaking of Spartacus, hold on. Spartacus from the the Star series versus Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian. Well, Spartacus was awesome too, though. Yeah, Arnold, Conan. I think that, well, I don't know. Spartacus was really Diesel. Like, really. Like, I'm actually rewatching the whole series. I just finished the first season, and I'm on the second episode in the Gannicus season.
Yeah, I'm on season 3.
Oh, you're watching it? You're rewatching it now too? Holy shit. I didn't even imagine that. This synchronicity. Me and Baz have had this friendship for like 30 years, maybe even more now. And we don't even talk about things. Like, we talk behind, before the show. We talk during the week on the phone. And it just so happens that we don't mention certain things, and then we'll be in the middle of talking. And it's like, holy shit, you've been doing the exact same fucking, like, 2 girls when they're on their period. And it's like they hang out, and then their periods sync up. Me and this fucking kid have been doing that for ages. Yeah,
all right. So what we were watching something else too. Mortal Kombat. We were both playing it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Mortal Kombat.
Nick Nack's Plastic Planet. I love this, but I would prefer a Frazetta Conan. Yeah, Frazetta. That's if the Frazetta Conan is the Conan basically from the actual Robert E. Howard stories. Pretty much, like, that's like what your mind thinks of when it goes to that. At least like those, those stories.
Robert E. Howard Conan would destroy actually historical Spartacus, probably, right?
Oh yeah, no, dude. Conan is fighting snake men. In the Tower of the Elephant, he fights some kind of like monster or some crazy shit. I'm in the process of reading the story now. I think it's Red Nails, where he gets trapped in a dungeon and has to actually fight that giant snake from the movie. He fights it. He actually fights it in the dark in the story, and it's freaking awesome. So it's like, look, dude, if you're fighting giant snakes and monsters and fucking ghosts and shit, you're beating Spartacus, bro. But if it's the movie Conan versus Spartacus, I don't know. Remember, he was raised in those pits as well. He was like raised from a little kid, from when he was like 10 years old, 11 years old, to fight as a slave, according to that movie. Now, this isn't the Robert E. Howard stories, to fight his whole life, basically. So I don't know, man. It might be a toss-up, but I'll tell you what, one thing's for sure. If the weapons are out of it, I think Arnold is just choking his life out. Just with just straight brute strength, like, it doesn't matter how fucking skilled you are, unless he's like some Brazilian jiu-jitsu master, which he isn't. Conan is ripping his skin right off of his body.
Speaking of Conan, this is actually relevant to today, because Marvel just got Conan, the license to publish Conan. They're going to reintroduce him into the comic soon.
Nice. That's pretty freaking awesome. That's something I might give a shot. Especially, it depends on who the writer is, I guess. Like how the art is always goes with that. But I would like to give that a shot. I'm actually in the process of giving the Star Wars stuff. I've been toying with the idea of getting into these Star Wars books that have been out from Marvel now for the past couple of years.
Imagine Conan tackles toxic masculinity.
Please, fucking please, bro. Maybe DC should have brought the fucking rights. Yeah, well, that's just it. I heard that one of the stories is they're actually going to be writing Conan the End, like how Conan actually dies. So it's like really like almost like bought Conan
by Red Sonja. Yeah, it's It's because, you know, men, you've had your run.
Yeah, whatever, man. Let me tell you, the freaking Red Sonja is cool by herself. She doesn't need to destroy Conan in order to be cool. Red Sonja is just a cool character. Stop trying to do that. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. Here's something else I wanted to share real quick. I put this in kind of like, wait, where the hell is it? Come on, man. Here we go. Real quick. I know Nick Nack might get a kick out of this. Here's another new toy coming out. Start screen share. And that is the brand new Transformers. This is the Transformers Masterpiece Optimus Prime, the newer version. This is the MP44. And I think he is quite beautiful. I don't think the price is quite beautiful, though. I think that with all the no, wait till I mention the fucking price. It's going to really knock your socks off. I have the MP10. That's the Masterpiece Series 10 Optimus Prime. He's a great figure. I'm thinking about selling that and upgrading to this. However, when I saw the price, I says, nah, I'm probably going to stick with mine. There are guys on eBay and all over that do like the cell shading on these figures where like they actually make the figures look like they're stepped right off of the cartoon as if a cartoon is literally sitting on your desk. The paintwork is that friggin' good. The paintwork costs like, you know, $400, $500, sometimes $600 for these painters to do this because they literally take the figure apart completely, paint it up, and then reassemble it. But just for like, if you guys want to take a look at that stuff, the animated cell shading versions of these figures are second to none. This figure is more cartoon accurate. He looks beautiful. He'll fit better in your collection. However, he's $450. That's right. I said it. $450 for this Optimus Prime, and he is not 100% die cast. He is mostly plastic. So that for some reason, the last MP Optimus Prime was $220, and you were able to get him on a deal between $180 to, as a matter of fact, no, he wasn't $210. I think he was $120 actually. It was $120 to $160 roughly around there. That was the MP10 that was released a couple of years ago. This, do not give me that according to inflation and parts and labor and all that other bullshit. $450 is way out of anyone in their right mind's fucking budget for something like this. I just think it looks beautiful. So I'm going to sit here and watch it from afar, and, you know, someone else could do a damn review on it because I sure as hell ain't spending that kind of money. Nice. Prime another remake and $400, please. Never. Yeah, exactly. Fuck, $450. Maybe wait for the knockoff version. Yes, which is, I was glad someone mentioned this before I did. You're probably just going to just sit back and get yourself the knockoff. That is most, and the knockoffs have been getting really good for these figures lately. So maybe go and get yourself the knockoff for, you know, a third of the price, maybe even less. You're probably able to get it for like $70. But
that does not look like $450 right there.
No, not at all. Not even close.
That looks like something I could pick up at Target.
No, it is. If Toys R Us was still around, you would have definitely been able to buy this in Toys R Us. But for $450, they are really out of their damn mind. Yeah, Robert Justafan writes $80 exactly. It's an $80 to $120 toy at the most. It is 12 inches, so it's 10.5 inches, I believe, or 11 inches around there. Fully transformable. He's got mad accessories, though, this time around. He comes with the trailer, all the bells and whistles. Still isn't worth that kind of money. They are really out of their damn mind with something like this. Let's see. Transformers knockoffs are the real market. No reason to sell legit ones. Yeah, pretty much, I guess. This one, Hasbro won the lawsuit in China for copyright. Looks like the knockoffs will be limited. Wow, look at that. I don't think that's going to stop them, though. People always find ways to bootleg movies, video games, action figures, and on and on and on. You know what I mean? So there you go. There you have it. Mezco Mike, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining the official Red Cup Review page on Facebook this week. Glad to have you aboard. Okay, Edwin Diaz. Hey, what's up, guys? Edwin, what's going on, brother? Always good to have you with us. Glad you can join us. Okay, who's going to enforce that? China? Haha. Yeah, pretty much. You pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one. Okay. I put this in the title. We're going to close the show off with this week, roughly, and that is the Netflix Black Mirror Bandersnatch, a movie that was just released. Baz, have you had a chance to watch or enjoy Bandersnatch yet?
Or any snatch?
No, I keep trying to get people in this house to watch it, but I don't know. They ain't ready to do it. I want to watch it with somebody. But what the hell is with that name, Bandersnatch? What a friggin' name. I keep forgetting the name, and it's just like a weird name. It's like Fuddruckers. Or, I don't know.
Good fucking call, bro. Okay, so
Bandersnatch. It sounds like dangerous pussy. I don't know. Bandersnatch. Look out.
This is what it's not just a regular movie.
It's a 007 villain.
Yeah, it's a 007 villain. Bandersnatch. 007 Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
So the Bandersnatch isn't just a regular movie, an interactive movie. It's more of a video game than it is a movie. As you're watching the movie, it gives you choices, and the screen stops. It gives you a freeze frame for 10 seconds every so often, and it makes you pick between two choices. Two choices show up on the screen, left or right on your remote control, if you're using a PlayStation remote or your regular remote. You pick what the character wants it to do, and it immediately kicks into the next scene. It is a choose-your-own-adventure type story. It is excellently acted. Excellently well-written. It is pretty fun. But then something happens about halfway through it. It's an hour and a half long. The problem is that the movie has dead ends in it. So if you pick a choice, it kind of like redirects you and makes you re-pick again. It takes you back to an earlier choice where it might branch you off into a different direction. And after that happens for like the third or fourth time, you start to feel like I really don't have a choice. Like I really like, am I just playing this just to watch the movie? Like what do my choices really amount to? And they actually address that in the story itself. They actually address the idea of you not really being in control. You only think you're in control. But what's cool about it is that the story is basically the whole idea behind Bandersnatch is that there's a kid in his early 20s who's a video game developer, and he's developing a video game called Bandersnatch. And the video game is a choose-your-own-adventure story, right? So he's trying to develop this choose-your-own-adventure story, and he starts having visions of this demon known as Pax. And Pax is a demon that's kind of like a Loki character, like a trickster god, kind of like Pan is. Right, but in this universe, it's a guy called Pax. And,
this got even more interesting for me.
And he starts to go nuts because of all the choices and all the decisions start to bear in on him. So as you're controlling him, this isn't spoilers. This is like first 10 seconds of you watching this friggin' thing. As you're controlling him, things start to happen to the character where he starts to feel as though he's being controlled. And we're going to leave it at that to not have any spoilers. So he feels as though he's being tormented by a demon or a trickster god named Pax, which that comes out in the story, depending on what choices you make. And then he feels as though he's being controlled and his choices don't really matter that he makes in life because you're the one controlling him.
That's like it's like a theme in religion too. Like some people say that we have the illusion that we're making choices, but everything is predestined.
Yes, and they actually address that too. Like it's funny as you're playing the game or watching the movie. I found myself going I restarted a few times. Like you don't restart; it kind of like kicks you back and into another branch of things and kind of directs you this way and kicks you into this. There's 5 different endings. There's 5 legit, totally different endings, and as you're going through, as soon as I started to feel like this is stupid. Like I chose this. And it's making me go back and choose something else. That's not me having control. I'm not in control of this. The developer of the movie, the director, is in control and is only making me feel like I'm in control. And then once you start to feel like that, they address it in the movie. The movie actually makes a comment about that. So it's a meta on the character feeling like he's not in control. A character talks about him developing the video game and how the people that are playing the video game he's creating don't really have control. And then they start talking about how whether you believe in predestination or not, and if the book of God is really written, if God really writes the good book, when you go to heaven, the plan was already laid out for you from the beginning. So it has like this meta commentary on yourself. And as soon as you start to feel like that, they address it in the program, and it goes from being like, I don't want to fucking have to sit through this again. And then you sit through the scene's a little bit different, and then they address it, and you're like, holy shit, I just started to think that because I played the same scene 4 times already. I had to sit through the same fucking thing. I'm not in control. And then they address it in the movie on like once you start to get like annoyed. So it's like kind of, it's so well written in that aspect. But at the same time, it wasn't as mind-blowingly amazing as they're making this out to be. Like IGN was like, this is the greatest thing. And it's really well done for what it is.
What you're explaining to me. I'm like so hyped to watch this, but I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work today. And if I start watching this now, I'm going to be up all night.
Yeah, no,
But
totally.
it
So
sounds
come home
good,
from
but-
work tomorrow and do this. And
Yeah.
you have to pay attention. Don't do this while there's shit going on in the house. You have to sit there and focus because it's one of those things where you watch the same scene 10 fucking times, but things are different. The character's going this way instead of this way. The character chooses to do this. He's eating Cheerios instead of Frosted Flakes. Like that's actually a decision you have to make.
This sounds
Like,
awesome. I love this.
so-
kind of stuff.
It's cool. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's definitely worth the watch. How many cups is the red cup going to give this goddamn thing? I don't know. I'm going to give it 3 3/4 cups. 3 3/4 cups. Well, because it's really well done, but it's not something I don't think I would ever go back to. Like if you wanted to watch it, I would sit down and watch it with you. It's something that I kind of sat through and I was kind of like at the end of it, I was like, all right, that was cute. But while I was watching it, I was totally engaged. But by the time the end of it came, I was kind of like, all right, I'm kind of glad this is over at this point.
Probably because it's getting overhyped. You know what's a movie that's getting really overhyped? The Bird Box. That's also on Netflix.
God.
If I have to hear about this goddamn movie one more time, bro.
See what I mean? Yeah, everyone's talking. It's not that good.
It's not that. Did you see it?
Yeah, I didn't even finish it. It wasn't. It was. The amount of hype it's getting.
Never travel with Sandra Bullock.
Never travel with
I mean,
Sandra
the
Bullock.
concept is cool, but the execution is kind of boring and ridiculous.
Yeah. Nick Knack writes, Asian copyright laws are as loose as my college girlfriend. This fucking guy's got to come back on the show. -9, hello, good people. Hello, how are you? How's it going? Also, RG joined us. RG, how are you, brother? Good to see you. Good to have you here always.
But with Bird Boxes, like people are seeing these invisible demons that they don't show the audience, and when you see them, you commit suicide for some reason. So now to survive, you have to like blindfold yourself or cover your eyes. Otherwise, if you open your eyes and you see a demon, the demon has some sort of power over you and you kill yourself.
All right, so let me sum this up. From what I've been hearing and from what you just told me, it's M. Night Shyamalan, but while I'm watching it, about 40 minutes in, I'm going to say, why don't I just blindfold myself and not watch this?
Yeah. You got it.
So, all right, well, there you go. I'm not going to watch it. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to stay off of the hype train.
Don't watch anything like that. It seems like it
Just drags on, and then at the end, you're going to wait for this big twist that comes, and you're going to go, really, that was it the whole time? I don't need to be bothered with that bullshit. It's the same reason why I don't like any M. Night Shyamalan movies. I can't sit through a fucking movie and wait for just to wait for the ending. Like, whatever. That's it. Go watch Bandersnatch. I have nothing else this week, Baz. This was a pretty good show, but the not really much going on as far as the big news of the week, man. What do you think? Awesome.
Yeah, not a lot happened this week. Yeah, I'm talking. You don't hear me?
Yeah, no, I got you now. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it was a very barren week news-wise. So we both were a little worried tonight about tonight's show.
Oh, it went pretty good. We're
having
almost just about an hour and a half. Collector Zone says The Punisher season 2 is coming in. Are we ready? I keep hearing about how great the first season was. I still haven't watched it. I watched the first episode and liked it. But again, I want to see this dude with the friggin' skull on his chest. Once I saw him burn it, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's the fucking Dolph Lundgren TV show movie all over again.
Yo, what a year for Dolph Lundgren, man, right? Aquaman, Creed 2.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy he's being. I like it when I get to see actors from the past get to have like their resurgence. We discussed it with John Wesley Shipp having his big resurgence as well, so that's pretty good. Let's see. Comcast is coming on Thursday. New Wi-Fi here in the Plastic Planet. Fan-freaking-tastic. Awesome. Can't wait to have you back on, bro. Baz, make sure you stay in the green room again as well. We are going to be signing off. I want to remind everybody that I don't know, Rob Just Fan wrote 4K question mark. Maybe Nick Nack will stop broadcasting in 4K if that's what's going on. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Remember to like this damn video. For Christ's sakes, like the damn video. It helps us out so much. And please subscribe to the Red Cup Review.
I'll be around next Saturday. I may not be around. I might have to work Heat game.
All right, cool. Well, then whatever. If you're not around, we'll just keep pushing The Last Jedi back further and further. It's okay. It'll be around eventually. Archie, thanks for stopping in for the limited time we got to have you. I can't wait to get you on the show eventually too. See you later, buddy. There's a new science fiction show started on Mr. Sci-Fi Channel called Space Command. I'll give it I'll take a look at it. If you want, go join the official Red Cup Review community on Facebook and put it out there. Put out the trailer. Let everybody kind of see it. I want to thank everybody. Go subscribe.
Did you guys watch Norseman yet? Did you guys watch?
Oh my God, no, I haven't. I'm trying to close the goddamn showdown, bro. I mean, anybody watch? She's saying anybody watch Gotham? I'm trying to close the showdown. This motherfucker's talking about
Gotham
Norseman.
Sucks. You guys, trust me. Once you do it, you will thank me.
All right, so I'm gonna go watch.
Think of this face.
No, he said go. Yeah, he said Gotham to go watch the Norseman. He's been drumming, beating the drum for like 3 weeks.
Commercials and things with Gotham. I'm like, is it really good? We just don't
I know a lot of people like Gotham. I've never been a fan of the show. Really, it was like okay in the beginning of it.
It plays too loose and fast with the Batman mythos. Come on, Bane. You're gonna introduce Bane before he's like even like 15.
She likes Alfred. That's the problem. Is she likes Alfred? She thinks he's hot and shit. So I'm probably gonna have to fucking, bite the pillow and just deal with Gotham eventually. Everybody, go join the Collector Zone Cantina on Facebook. Trust me, just go peek at it. All right, go follow the lair.nyc. Subscribe to the Red Cup Review. Join us and send in some questions for next week in case we're stuck with an episode like this where we can get shit to talk about. We could always use help from the community because that's what this is all about. Thank you very much, family, for joining us. We will see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Baz, stay in the green room for a few minutes, and I'll see the rest of you guys either during the week or next week, guys. All right, take it easy. We are ending this broadcast now.